Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, Takata back in the news over another massive fine that has come down their way. Now the trick is the scale of this recall is massive. 42 million units just in the United States alone have been recalled for these Takata airbags, and this latest fine is massive in scale as well. $1 billion is the fine that's come in now, and it's going to be divvied up amongst several different folks, including 25 million just going to criminal fees alone. 125 millions are going to the victims' families and the victims involved in this particular incident, and the other 850 are going just to the automakers themselves for the inconvenience of these airbags. Hopefully this is another step in the right direction, because Takata is the largest airbag manufacturer all over the world, so this company's gone through a bunch of heavy hits, but hopefully they can get on the other end of this soon. Some leftovers coming down from the Detroit Motor Show, including this particular machine. This is the ID Buzz concept for the folks over at Volkswagen. Now, the trick of this particular machine is we've seen this before. In fact, this is probably the 4th or 5th iteration of this particular concept that we've seen, which has got a lot of outlets are saying either crap or get off the pot, Volkswagen. Either build this thing or not. We're tired of seeing it as a concept piece. And I have to say, thing looks amazing. I really wish they would actually put this thing into production. Another new concept piece comes from the folks over at Nissan. Nissan showing off the VMotion concept. Now the thing about this machine is this is probably a little bit closer to production ready. In fact, this possibly is the brand new Ultima. At least that's what a lot of outlets are claiming. So we'll have to wait and see on this front. The thing does look fantastic. Would love to see this be the Ultima, otherwise maybe some slight changes before it becomes real deal production ready. Next up on the list, let's talk about the Dodge Demon. Yes, 1971 Dodge Demon. In fact, that was my first ever car. Not this particular one, but a little 318 automatic was the first ever automobile I've ever owned. In fact, it was an interesting piece. It was a 3-generation car. My grandmother and grandfather were actually hit by a car in 1971. It claimed the life of my grandfather, but my grandmother, who had seldom if ever had driven, now my father had bought her a brand new Dodge Demon from the local Dodge dealership, where she learned how to drive and drove it for several years until she sold it to my father when she upgraded to a new machine. Now, my dad drove it for several years, and then I bought it off of my father, which I actually did a lot of the learning of how to drive. In fact, this thing taught me a bunch of car control way back in the day before I was even legal to actually drive. I love that car to death. It went away. I sold it to somebody, and the vehicle's been probably pretty much gone forever, even though I probably live close to about 20 minutes from the last place I heard it actually was. It may be impossible to ever see that machine again. Why are we talking about the Dodge Demon? Because guess what? It's going to make its return. The folks over at Dodge are actually showing off a Demon concept. And I say it's a concept. Really, they're actually egging up to a brand new Demon that's going to be shown off at the April New York Auto Show. And it's not actually going to be an all-new car. It's going to be a version of this, the Challenger Hellcat. Now, the rumors are flying all over the place. If you go over to the Facebook page, I got the first ever video that they showed off for this, which oddly enough was an actually Super Bowl ad for SRT. And it would have been like 2 years ago or something like that. They're rebadging as this first iteration. They're going to show off several videos over the next weeks and months ahead of this release. Now, the rumors have been floating everywhere about just what exactly this is going to be. Could the Hellcat lump actually be getting way more power? Heard rumors every bit from 800 to 1,000 horsepower. Also heard of somewhat of a track day monster. The car's going to lose a fair amount of weight and also going to get a lot of suspension upgrades, braking upgrades to make it a track day star. I've heard rumors that it could be all-wheel drive. All this stuff as the rumor mill continues to fly all over the place ahead of no information from FCA about what exactly they may have up their sleeves. So we'll definitely keep you in tune. You can check back at the Facebook page too to see the brand new videos. The next video is going to be up in a little over 3 days' time. Sticking with FCA, FCA has been in a weird situation over the past several months and years. Not only have they been getting in a fair amount of trouble over weirdo stuff, there was a situation where they were basically kind of cooking the books, for a lack of a better term, showing off sales numbers that weren't actually taking place. Then also there was that whole recall situation where they weren't getting the recalls fast enough, and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration fined them several million dollars, in fact well over close to 200 million actually in total fines. And now we've got a new situation that's come down the pike, as now they're getting their very own diesel scandal situation. Now we've heard the German government going after FCA over the past several months, especially when their own company, the company inside of their country, Volkswagen, were heavily involved in a diesel scandal. They were pointing the finger at FCA for doing this as well, and now apparently that's happening right here in the United States, where several diesel models from across their lineup are not being able to be sold because they have somewhat of a cheating situation going on, which apparently can be done if it's done with the EPA's blessing, which apparently this deal was not done, so they have stopped them from selling all diesel variants going forward. So, weird situation going on over at FCA. They are really getting in some weird trouble type situations. Maybe it's a good thing this demon thing is coming out about now, especially could cover up some of this weirdness that's been going on. Next up on the list, well, Porsche didn't want to go to the Detroit Motor Show, but they still wanted to show something off first part of the year, and this is it, the brand new 911 GTS. Now, the new GTS lineup comes in all variants of the Porsche lineup, including the coupe, the Targa, like in this particular photograph, and also the convertible version itself. Now, the vehicle gets the 3-liter turbocharged flat 6, gets a big bump up in power up to 450 horsepower and 405 pounds-feet of torque. That is shifted through a 7-speed automatic PDK gearbox. Now, a bunch of these vehicles will get the active suspension management system. A couple of them won't. You also can get it in all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive variants. You can get some of them with the 4-wheel steering arrangement in it as well. And a bunch of them come with GTS badging and some special oddities in and outside of the vehicle, including those one locking center lug wheels like off the GT3 RS. Now, the vehicle is going to be in dealer showrooms in just a month's time, a couple of months' time. In fact, in April, this vehicle will be debuting. Starting price for the rear-wheel drive coupe version comes in at $119,000 US. You can go all the way up to the Cabrio / Targa all-wheel drive versions that come in at $138,200. So if you got a hanker for a new 911 GTS, you better head down to your Porsche dealership right now. Last up on the list, another little weirdo machine that was shown off at the Detroit Motor Show is this. This is the X Series from VLF. VLF sounds a little bit familiar. Remember, those are the folks that are taking the old Karmas and turning them into Destinos and putting the supercharged V8 out of the Corvette inside of these machines. Well, this is basically their idea of what an SUV could end up looking like. This vehicle is basically a Chevrolet Colorado. In fact, front to back, almost all over, with a heavily body cladding all the way around this particular machine. No word on whether these guys are actually going to build this machine as of yet, as these guys got some pretty heavy hitters. One of them being Bob Lutz, the ex-head of General Motors. That's where they got probably the connections for the Colorado Canyon style underneath this particular machine. Also, Hendrik Fisker involved in this particular group, and he's redone some machines as well, as they've been going underneath their umbrella heading forward. So we'll have to wait and see if the X Series ever sees the light of day in production. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time. Get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.